Today we'll be talking about scanners and where I use them. Alright, let's get started. This is very important because essentially you're going to want to be able to find stocks that have momentum and that have basically a lot of attention from a lot of traders. And in order to do that, you need to set up you need to set up scanners. And there's a lot of different websites where you can do this, but here in Thinkorswim, you can do it within this platform. There's no need of having a separate website open or different scanner open. Like I said in the other video, this is the area over here to the left is where I am going to want to set up my scanners. The idea is that I will be able to have my scanners in different places here and be able to click at a stock here and have it show up here immediately, ready to be traded or ready to be analyzed or looked at or whatever. So in order to start with the scanning, you're going to want to go here on the top where it says scan, okay? And this is the scanning page. So first, you're going to want to get familiar with this section here. My scanners are going to be focused 100% on finding penny stocks. Now, in TD Ameritrade and in this platform, Thinkorswim, you have free trading. Now, that free trading fees only apply for stocks that are under NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is choose from where you want to be scanning from. So here it says scan in, it says all stocks. Well, I don't want to do all stocks because some of those stocks don't trade for free, like the OTC and whatever other ones they are. I want the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. So we'll click here first and we'll choose a category. And let's go first with all NASDAQ stocks. Okay, that would be the first one. All right. So for me, before that, I want to set this to say last. This second row here would be volume. And this third one would actually be a study. All right, so we are going to want to change this one. Instead of saying stock percentage change, we're going to want to have one of these lines say study. So we're going to add a filter here, and where it says here add filter, click on study, and we're going to erase this third one because we're only going to want to have three, or the way I do it. So in this study one, we're going to want to have it set up as price change. Under price performance, you go to price change. Okay, and I'm going to explain a little bit what this is, but we want this to say open, and I like this to be at 3%. This to say greater, and this to have 10 bars. Okay, now going back over here, so I want to scan stocks that are within a price range. Okay, so the sweet spot for me for looking for penny stocks is stocks that are between $1, all right, and $10. Very rarely do I trade anything underneath that or above that. I find stocks that are under $1 a little more difficult to trade, especially if you're trying to set up use brackets in your trading or stop losses, since they trade a little differently in terms of the fractions. Under $1, sometimes I've noticed a lot of more slippage. which means your stop losses sometimes get canceled, or your orders don't get filled, or get skipped even when they're market orders. So I like it to be $1 to $10. Okay. Now the volume, I want any volume that is trading above 5,000, and the max would be whatever maximum here is. It doesn't really matter, just a huge number really, but starting at 5. Okay. So going back, any stock between $1 and $10, and then anything that has a volume of traded shares more than 5,000. And then this study basically means I want to see any stock that has had a price change of at least 3% in the last 10 bars going towards the open of the day. Okay, does that make sense? So this basic scanning system that I just completed is gonna scan for stocks that have gone at least 3% on the upside in the last 10 bars. Okay, and I know 3% seems a little low for penny stocks, but I'm gonna show you a little trick. But that's basically what I want to do. So after I do that, I'm gonna want to press choose how many stocks you want to see. I think it starts at 50. I usually put 200 to show you 200 at a time. I really find no need to put 2,000 or 1,000 or whatever number more than that, because in my style of trading, I'm only going to choose 1 to max of 3 stocks that I want to pay attention to, and those will be on the top of my scanner once I set it up. So then you want to press scan to see the results. All right, so this is the results of your scanning based on these parameters. Okay, under NASDAQ stocks, price between $1 to $10 with at least a volume of 5,000 and that have changed 3% on the upside towards the open in the last 10 bars. Okay, now as you can see, there's a lot of ways that you can set this up. This is just the way I set up for finding my penny stocks. Okay, now if this were trading hours, you would see all these moving, all these numbers. The prices would be changing all the time, and you would see a different stock showing up here all the time. Now there's different ways that you can organize this. I like to do one of two things. One, organize it here by the percent change. So if you click this little percent change right here, you put them in order with the stocks that have had the greatest loss. You click it again, it'll do the opposite. So the stocks that had the greater gains within that price range and that time and all that. Now, you can do percent change. I prefer volume more than percent change. Okay, I want to see which stocks have the largest volume, because for me that shows me which stocks have the most attention, and the stocks that have the most attention will have the bigger probabilities of movement. And for me, it almost seems like the patterns, the candles, and the plays seem to be a little more clear. You're able to see the emotions of trading a little more when there's a lot of traders like me and you involved. Here you would click on volume, all right, and you would have the most volume on top if you do it like that. And you click it again, and the lowest volume all the way down to 5,000 like we requested. But really we want to have the ones with the bigger volume, the largest volume. So we would click here, and according to this scanner right here at this precise time, it shows that AYTU had the largest volume within these parameters. All right, so you're gonna want to save this scanner. So in order to do that, you're gonna go to this drop menu here, click on Save Scan, You can name it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it penny stock, NASDAQ, $1 to $10. Okay, we're going to save that. All right, and in order to find that, you go back to that menu bar and you look for load scan, and you go to personal. You'll be able to see it right here. Penny stock, NASDAQ, $1 to $10. So let's save another one. Let's make another one, the same thing, but instead of NASDAQ, we want it to be New York Stock Exchange. So we go back here where it says scan in, and we're going to go to categories, and we are going to go to New York Stock Exchange stocks. You click here, and the same setup. And we go to scan. And again, you can set up by percentage change or volume. The same thing. And we're going to change this, we're going to save this scan also. Save scan. Instead of NASDAQ, call it NYSE. And we're going to save that. Alright, so now we have two. Your menu bar, load scan, personal, and here they are, these two. Okay, you can do as many as you want. If you decide to be a swing trader, if you decide to, scan smaller price stocks or larger price stocks, or you want to be doing something completely different, you can make as many scanning setups as you want. Let's say we have our scanner running in the morning. You want to be able to be as quick as possible when you're trading, especially penny stocks. In my opinion, I don't have time to be scanning here in the scanning page, taking note of this stock GE or F or HTZ, and then going to my chart, typing it in, and then taking my next steps. You can cut all that time. You don't have to do that. Something that's amazing with this platform is that you can set it up so that it will be placed over here on this side. So let's go do that with just those two that we saved. So let's go to charts, which is where we trade, and we have our setup here. And don't worry, we're actually going to change this a little bit as we go, but since it's from scratch, I want to teach you every single feature. All right, so let's go here to the left side of your page. Now these right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. The first one I'm just going to keep. That's just my personal information. I'm just going to make it smaller. There's no need for you to see that. You can always click it open and see how much money you have available and how much is settled funds and how much is not, if you have a cash account, of course. But right here, let's change this. Right now, it is set up as news. I don't want that right now. So I'm going to go to the menu, Dropbox here. Sorry, it's this one. And I'm going to delete gadget. All right, I'm going to delete them all. Delete gadget. Delete gadget. And delete gadget. All right. So now the only one that's left is the one with your personal information. So let's go all the way to the bottom here. When you see this little plus sign, you're gonna add a gadget. Okay. You're gonna choose what you wanna have on that side. And I want to have a watch list. Okay, and basically this first watch list I'm gonna set up is gonna be my first scanner. All right, So you click here where it says default, right next to watch list. There's going to be a drop here, and you're going to choose your scanner by clicking on personal, and let's do the NASDAQ. Penny stock NASDAQ $1 to $10 scanner that we just created. So we put that one. Okay. Now, that's your first one. Let's just use half of this space to have your first one. And let's add the second one. So we add another scanner. Same thing, watch list. Click on default, personal, and now we're going to do the New York Stock Exchange $1 to $10 scanner. Click on that, and I like to have that kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to have a third one here, but it's not going to be a scanner. It's just going to be a watch list, and I will tell you what I use that for in a little bit. But now that you have both your scanners, how I have them set up is, I don't think a lot of this information is important for me. I'm not really interested on looking at what the bid and what the ask is. This is what I am wanting to see. So I'm going to go here to the little settings, little wheel, and I'm going to customize it. I personally want to have the symbol, obviously we'll keep. The last price I'm not interested on, so we're going to remove that. So the way you do that, you click where it says last and you remove that item. Also with the bid, also with the ask. And I'm going to look for to add, I want to see the volume. So let's go over here, look up, go volume. It's right here on the bottom. You double click and it shows over here. All right, let's press OK. You see, you only have the name of the company, stock name, and we have the net change. And you know what? Instead of net change, I want to have percentage change. So customize, percentage change, and let's take off net change. I rather know the percentage. It's just all right. So let's remove net change. Remove that. Okay. Now we have these three things: the name of the stock, the volume, and the percent change. Okay, you can switch them back and forth. I personally like to have the volume on this side, and let's keep it like that. Okay. Now it looks like I can have more space for my chart. Oops, closed it. So I can make it a little bit. Oh, that's the smallest as you can go, so we'll leave it like that. And so right here you can do the same thing that we were doing where the scanner was. You can click in here and it will arrange your percent change on the negative side on the top or on the positive side. Okay, or you can look for stocks that are, you know, the volume, the lowest volume and the highest volume. Now, like I said, if this was live, this would be changing. Sometimes in pre-market, you'll have some stocks here be on the top, and an hour later or at open, that might change. Okay, some news might come up all of a sudden, or some stock might get the most attention all of a sudden. It will move up your scanner and it will eventually show you that it has a lot of attention or a lot of momentum or volume basically coming in. So let's make the changes for this one really quick. For the New York Stock Exchange, customize, and we're going to remove last, bid, and ask. And I know there's some traders that find benefit in that. My style of trading does not, so that's why I take it out. So net change, I don't need it either. I need percent change, and I need volume. Something that I've learned is the more you can simplify your trading, the easier trading will get. That's why I only have these two things here. So let's move. Oh, no, we have the volume in the right place. So let's just make a match the top one in terms of spacing. And that looks fine. Okay. All right, this last watch list, I like to have it for one reason. Okay, I have my two scanners over here in the top, and I look at those at pre-market, and I look at those at open and during the day. Mainly pre-market more than anything. That's where I want to focus my attention. So this is basically the setup for my scanners. I want to have the one scanner for the New York Stock Exchange and one for the NASDAQ. Now over here in the bottom, the watch list, what I use this space that I added here for are for stocks that one, I am currently trading. Because let's say UAVS, which I traded today. Let's say I traded this stock at the beginning of the day, let's say pre-market or at open, and it's on the top of this scanner. It has happened, and it happens a lot, where that stock eventually loses the momentum and loses the attention, that it will lower on your scanner. So it would not be in the top if some other stock has more attention or more volume. And if it drops below 50, which is what we are, 200 stocks, then it would disappear from the scanner completely. Okay, does that make that makes sense? I have this watch list to add the stocks that I'm trading right now. So let's say UAVS, wasn't my scanner. I started trading it. Okay, so the other reason I have it there is because if I get to either read or listen or hear about another stock that are not in my scanners, let's say you get an alert from Facebook or from alert service, and that specific stock has a lot of attention but is not under the parameters that you have, you're going to want to add it right here. So for example, let's say AYTU is not in my scanners right now, but I hear that it's getting a lot of attention. I'm going to want to look first of all to see what that looks like and if there's any opportunities for a good trade. But since it's not in my scanner, I want to have it in my list. So let's say AYTU wasn't there, I would put it right here to make sure that I have it on my list to watch. The last feature I want to show you is how to sync this. You're going to want to click on your stock and immediately show up over here. So the way you do that is you click here right next to the stock name, and there's a number 1. This is where you can sync to other things, or you can sync it to your scanner. So I just use the number 1 red, and you actually have to make this a little bigger to see that feature. So let's make this bigger, and you have it right here where you can link it. Okay, so you click on here, and you're going to want to choose the red. You're going to want to do that with this one, and you're going to want to do that to your watch list. Okay, and that's super important because the less time you spend trying to get ready for an actual trade, the better. So let's say I want to look at this stock that's on the top of my penny stock NASDAQ scanner. I would click on the stock here, AYTU, click, and it would show immediately here. Okay, same thing with this scanner, and same thing with my watch list, UAVS. Okay, this is a stock that I actually traded today here on the open, and you can see here the profit for the day. Yeah, so that's super important because you just want to be able to click and immediately be able to trade. Okay, if you hear, hey, UAVS is having a lot of attention for this and this reason, all right, let's click on it really quick, and I am ready to trade. Okay, obviously you have to do your own due diligence. You have to look at your trades. You have to look for a setup. You need to analyze. You have to have a plan, an entry and exit plan. You don't just jump in on whatever somebody is talking about. That is very dangerous. You need to have a plan. You need to learn how to trade. All right, on the next video, we'll talk about my favorite feature of Thinkorswim, which is the active trader. Look for the link below for those alerts. Also, don't forget to join the Facebook page. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you next week. Adios.